Hello, my soul brothers and soul sisters. I am Ron Smith, and this is the Dr. Ron Smith Investigating Show, where we separate the real from fake, the fact from fiction, and give you the winner's edge. And sometimes we're able to turn your water into wine. This is episode number 28. Yay! We're going to talk about ways to control your spending. This is a season where Christmas is right around the corner. And we really want to go out and shop. And then at the same time, we understand that the economy is not the best as it has been even last year this time, with the inflation, with everything is just cost more, even though the gas prices are down. So one of the things that I know for sure is that one of the reasons that we need to get our spending under control is that we ignore certain things about our budget, which mean our, income and expenses. And even though I know in the captions I said that we have a ignorance, I think we ignore it and think that it's going to get better if we just push it down the road. It's almost like we say that we're going to kick the can down the road, expecting that there's going to be a miracle that happens at the end. And one of the things that I know for sure is that is not going to happen. You have to take control of your spending. You have to understand what your financial position is, and you have to get that retail therapy under control. Now, one of the things that I had to do personally is that first is communications. I had to get the communication with myself corrected, even before I even mentioned it to my spouse. And a couple of years ago, when my children was at home, I had to go over the budget with them. And that's not an easy subject, but it's a very necessary one in order for us to overcome and get our wealth plan on track. Which means basically we have to have a mindset and that we have to be intentional. Now, one of the things that I had to learn, because I do like to go shopping as well as my wife, is that there are endorphins and dopamine that happens. And that's the essence of what retail therapy is that we get excited about, seeing something new. Get excited about being in the environment, whether you're shopping online or whether you're in the mall. I just visited Atlanta a couple of weeks ago, and the mall was thriving. Unlike the ones that I live here, is that there are only certain malls are closing down in the Virginia Beach area. But in Atlanta and some of the cities, they're still thriving. People are out there, they're shopping, and you hear the Christmas music. We see all those things that put us in the mood to spend money. Okay, and of course, social media and all the media are encouraging you to spend. Matter of fact, even the United States government have a spend to get out of this situation economically, which is not really beneficial to you personally, but that's another subject for another different time. So we can be addicted, just like a person could be addicted to drugs and alcohol or sex. Retail therapy, if not brought under control, can be an addiction. And we have to be careful how we go about doing that. So if we are into that extreme, where you still go in your closet, I'm gonna get in trouble, and still have price tags on things that you haven't worn yet, and you have several of those outfits that you have not worn yet, whether they fit not, that's a different subject. But my point is that then you understand what position you're in, because that's the first thing you have to do. You have to change your mindset of how you're going to engage in controlling your spending. One of the things that is necessary is having a wealth plan, which means that basically you understand where you are currently, what you want to do, and we are in December and we are looking at 2024. What are your plans that this time next year you want to accomplish? And that's basically coming up with a wealth plan. And the scripture in Habakkuk said, write the vision and make it plain. And that's the simplest way that we can keep our spending and our wealth plan under control. And then we have to be intentional about doing it. That means that basically you're going to have set some goals, which mean that starting now, if in my house right now is that basically if we can't pay for it in cash and or pay for it by December 30th, it's not going to happen. So that is our spending plan as far as this holiday. And also with, the internet and being and shopping around, you can easily find bargains that you won't have to pay full price for. So those are things that that you have to be able to get under control. With that in mind, I want to go over some of the top money mistakes, and then we're going to go back to the basics of basically how you write that plan, that wealth building plan. But number one, the top mistake is not having a budget in the beginning with, having no financial plan, which means basically you're paying your bills, and you have that. When I suggested the 40, 30, 20, 10, basically 40% of your needs, 30% of your wants, and should be 20% of reducing your debt and saving, and 10% as far as your tithes and offerings, donations, charity, et cetera, et cetera. That has to be a formula that you can use. Now, I understand, especially right now, the rent is considerably rising, and the only way that you could really get that under control is find a way that you could actually purchase some real estate. Now, I understand that can be, very challenging, especially now, but that might be a plan because they're saying that the interest rate will be lower, and purchasing a home will be more advantageous coming up in the next couple of weeks and months. But don't think that that's not a possible attainable goal. In the coming weeks, especially 2024, we're going to be discussing how you can actually purchase real estate. And that's one of my goals is that we have to find a way that we convert ourselves from renters to owners, which means from paying rent to paying a mortgage, because that's the investment. Even right now is a critical short-term investment, as well as a legacy investment that we're going to talk about, later. The next thing is basically, and this one hit me pretty hard, paying the minimum on your credit card. I have kind of supercharged over the last couple of months because I have seen what my credit card statement is my interest rate on my card has just went up. Seemed like I forgot what I was paying before because it was low, but now it looks like it is double. And my goal is to reduce that back. I had a situation where basically I used my card to help some people, and I'm paying the price for doing that. But a friend in need is a friend indeed. So I don't have no regards for doing that. But at the time, it was an emergency. So I have supercharged trying to pay that back, So I kind of shifted from my 20% that basically reducing that debt and ease it over to a part of my 30%. Some of the things that I wanted to do, I took some of that money out, that 30%, put it over to 20%. So I guess my point is, when you have a wealth plan and you can see where your numbers are, your numbers could be fluid and flexible in order to maintain your buoyancy of your wealth plan. So the whole idea is, I had a person ask me, should I reduce my debt or should I put that money into savings or invest? When you reduce your debt, you are actually investing in yourself. And what you want to look at is, what is the interest on that debt compared to what's the interest that basically you can actually increase. So by reducing your debt, you are increasing your income in the long run. And that's one of the things. It all depends on what your financial position is, but you can do both simultaneously. Or for me right now, in the next couple of months, I am going to reduce that credit card down to where I can pay it off monthly. So that is my plan. Well, speaking of that, one of the things most people don't have is no emergency savings plans, period. If you own a car and hopefully it's new and it's under warranty, you're pretty much, covered. If you have a car within, 100,000 miles, 150, you get the extended warranty. That is one of the things that you need to keep that. If you have an older car and basically, is out far extended the warranty that you can even get the extension, that you need to have that emergency fund just in case transmission go out, tires, just the minor maintenance, right now, with the construction going on everywhere, even when I went down to Atlanta, construction is everywhere. My windshield got chipped. So it's little things like that is that what the reason why you need an emergency fund. No savings for retirement. You have to look not only now, but in the long run. And I know basically, like I said, when housing taken, the professional says that basically you should not spend more than 30% of your income on housing. At this stage, we know that that's unless you are actually purchasing your home, the rent is probably move that to 45% to 50% of your income. So you need to take a look at that. But at the same time, we're going to talk about some retirement things that you need to do. The second thing is that, not second, probably the fifth thing, ignoring your lower credit score. Maybe some things that you have done in the past that affected your credit score. First of all, you need to know what that is. So basically, you can get your free annual credit report from any of the, Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax. They give it to you free. So you need to know what those scores is. And one of the shows that we're going to do in 2024 also, if we're going to talk about if there's some how you remove those disputes off your credit card or your credit report to lower your score. So one of the things also is paying too much for financial services. I know a lot of young people use Cash App and they don't have a bank account. They check cash in places, pay their loans. They use the rent to own. And one of the things that I try to get them to understand that basically you're going to have steady income. Therefore, I suggest joining a credit union. I'm really not a big supporter of the big banks because the credit unions actually they are there for the members and they try to do support member services. Banks are there to make money, and they make money nickel and dime you, ATMs, et cetera, et cetera. So my suggestion is get your credit union so basically you can establish something more permanent. And also Cash App is not covered with FDIC. So basically it's not really a financial service for banking. You can make transaction and you can move money, but at the same time, it's not FDIC, certified or insured. So um, we're going to come back after this break, and we can continue with how you could control your spending and your top money mistakes. I see you on the flip side. Hey, my soul brothers, we are back and we are talking about ways to control your spending. And of course, it's December. And basically, we want to make our friends and family and associates, we don't want to be antisocial and not bring anything to the party. We don't want to, we want to share our gifts with our families and friends. But at the same time, we have to realize that we have to control our spending. And one of the things I'm doing in my house is that if we can't pay for it in cash or we can't pay for it by December 30th, it's not going to happen. And that's, easier said than done in most situations. And then that basically, I, say it in my introduction and in the caption on the banner is that we are ignorant, but I think it's more that we ignore uncontrollable spending. And we think that it should get better. And basically, I'm not putting any hope or that the government will, aid us in any way directly, even though, current administration is talking about the interest rate with some of these banks and financial institutions. And that's all well and good. But your personal economy should be your responsibility. It is your responsibility. And nobody can actually do it except you. And if you are, married, your spouse, and if you got a family, you have to come together with communication to overcome that. And basically, I know I shop, I feel better. I put on new clothes, I feel better. And we call that retail therapy, which basically, the dopamine and endorphins kick in. We feel good about ourselves. And then we realize that basically when we get that invoice later, then we realize we come back down to earth. In order way that we can control that is having a wealth plan, spending plan, or a budget. And we're going to get more into that. But I want to finish with some of the top money mistakes. And then we're going to talk about that wealth plan. One of the things that we know coming up in January, basically we look forward to some of us who are still employed is going to get an income tax. And the thing about it, that is a good opportunity if you're going to get refund to actually use that money to use that money in that 20%, either reduce your debt or learn time, have your investment or in that emergency fund category. Remember, I talked about the budget, the outline that I used was a 40-30-20-10, which is 40% of the needs, 30% of the wants, 20% of reducing your debt and savings, and 10% of tithing and actually, giving to charity. So that is a good time not to go to Vegas, even though, I'm a Laker fan and we won, the season tournament. That I can't use that money to go to Vegas and see LeBron, that kind of stuff. So that's just two things that you can use if you have a refund coming up. And basically, co-signing a loan, that is even co-signing, which means that basically you are saying that you're going to be responsible for that loan. That's one of the things that you shouldn't do. Being underinsured, which means basically if you're, one of the things that I take pride in is my health. So basically, I don't have to use health insurance because I ensure that basically, I get proper rest, which I'm still working on the proper rest, but I do exercise, and I try to eat healthy, and and my main goal is reducing to minimizing totally red meat out of my whole diet plan. So that is my way of getting back and taking care of myself. Now, you might have other ways that you need to get back, but being underinsured will be a liability. Uh, have you heard of FOMO, the fear of missing out? And that's one of the things that, coming up, we're going to be going to these little cocktail parties and Christmas parties, gatherings, and, for the office, et cetera, et cetera. And everybody going to be telling you about, the concerts they went to, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, or they're going to tell you about, the next fancy restaurant that just opened, or they're going to tell you about, hey, the vacation I had, the cruises that's coming up, and those sort of things. So the fear of missing out, meaning basically, oh, I can go on those cruises. Oh, I need to go check out that restaurant. Oh, I need to go to that concert. And I'm saying your wealth plan should dictate what you're going to do. Now, hopefully, you maybe had already done those things and you're paying those costs for those things. Because I know the prices of those tickets. Even the cruises are increasing their prices now since the fear of COVID is over, and restaurants, the best ones is going to they're going to best restaurants, especially new one. But there are ways that you can get around that, and that's something that we talk about in a future show. So, in my last couple of minutes, I want to talk about the wealth plan. And basically, this is some of the things that we talk about in prior shows. Remember the 5 things that I say that everybody should have some type of control over. Is that the way you create your wealth or earn wealth is something that you have to have a steady flow of cash flow coming in. Because if you live in this world, especially in the United States, which is a capitalist society, is that you're going to have to spend money to live. From the time that you get up in the morning to the time you lay down, just about everything that you did from that point on cost something. And I said it before, from the sheets that you slept on to the toothpaste, the mouthwash, the shaving cream, the beauty products that you use, the clothes that you put on, the transportation, whether you drive a car or you took Uber or you took public transportation, or the breakfast, lunch, and you come back home for dinner, and the utilities, power, cell phones, all those things cost money. Might not cost you directly, but indirectly, all those things cost money. So basically, you're going to have to earn, or you're going to have to create a steady cash flow income. Within that, you have to be, number 2 is that you have to learn how to manage that. Remember, we talk about your income and your expenses. That is part of your wealth plan, is basically from lodging, eating, and wearing your clothes and transportation. Those are vital necessity. And in this weather, matter of fact, it's just turned cold, and basically you're going to have to turn up the heat. One of the things that we happened over the weekend, we had a very violent storm, and in Tennessee and in parts of Alabama and other places, like and even up in the Northeast, they had a tornado and you had flooding. So basically, and I'm going to get to that, basically, insurance. You had to protect your property, and basically, if you had damage in this storm, you need money to make sure you pay for the premium to pay for the insurance. And if you don't have that, basically you're gonna have to have a replacement cost. And that's part of the protection, even though I know I'm jumping ahead, but those are the things that you have to have, a steady income, whether you earn it, create it, and you have to learn how to manage that, which means basically your assets and your liabilities is that, and those things need protection. And then next thing is that since I can't buy a $50,000 car in cash yet, I'm working on it, or I buy another piece of property that's $350,000 to a $500,000 cash, I'm working on it. But those things I need to have leverage. In order to have leverage, which means that basically I have to have a credit score more than 580, and the best score that I can probably get at this time, right now at 702. My goal is to have like 750 by this time next year. So basically, when I do have to buy another property, I can have the lower tax rates on that. Your credit score controls your car, your house, your rent, your insurance, everything. When those financial institutions or insurance companies look at your report card, which basically that's what your credit report is, that's what they're looking for, is your ability to repay and your history of repaying your credit. And those are things that basically what leverage give you. So that's what you need to take a look at also. Now, I mentioned the storm. You have to be able to protect what you have also. So even if you're renting, you're gonna have to have renter's insurance. You have car insurance, you have health insurance. All those things are part of your protection, have to be part of your wealth plan also, because basically if you don't have insurance, and one of the things that is unfortunately, we still have GoFundMes, because somebody didn't do the proper planning, which prevent poor performance. Those are the things that we have to do, and that is the way that we can control spending. Because if you have protection with insurance, you don't have to pay the full price, which means the insurance company would pay the majority of that. You might have to pay the initial cost, but you don't have to pay the whole thing. But if you don't have insurance, you have to pay the whole thing, or you have to learn to live without it. And that could be a very painful way to experience. And the last thing is part of your wealth plan is leaving a legacy. Now, one of the things I know for sure that you can do immediately is have insurance. And I'm suggesting whole life insurance for a lot of reasons. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I think my time is almost running out, so I can't talk about that today. But creating life insurance policy, so basically your family can maintain the lifestyle that you, or even better lifestyle when you are not able to do that. So also make sure you have a will. And if you have a lot of assets, I suggest you do a trust. So one of the things I suggest that, especially what you want to do is have a trust to avoid probate. And probate, basically, when your will is public record. If you have a trust, it's not public record. So I only have a few minutes left. Is that having a wealth plan is the way that you can control your spending. And this holiday can be your best holiday if you learn how to control your spending now. Make it part, communicate with your family, and come up with a plan that both of you, all you guys can live with, and you will be successful. Until next time, enjoy your season, the reason for the season, right? Peace.